Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk to you guys about why so many people are depressed when they use social media. So a lot of people talk about scrolling, right? And I'm sure scrolling has its negative effects, right? I'm sure that scrolling has very detrimental effects on your dopamine, right? Especially excessive scrolling, right? Through Instagram, TikTok, right? These different things. But I think the biggest thing, especially when it comes to just your overall sense of outlook, right? Your positive outlook and just generally like feeling good about your everyday life. I think the biggest thing that social media screws up, or the biggest part of social media that screws people up is the likes and the followers part of it, right? So I'm on social media, right? I'm on YouTube. I have, I look at my videos, I look at my subscribers, I look at my views, and I'll be honest, I get caught up sometimes in my viewer count. I get caught up in my subscriber count at times, right? I'm just, like I said, I'm human. I'm like everyone, right? I want success just like everyone else. I want growth. I want, to have an abundance of outreach. And one thing I will say is that excessive constantly, refreshing your page to see how many views you got, or if someone liked your video, or someone commented, or if someone subscribed, is very psychotic, right? And neurotic, and it creates a lot of problems, right? And I can speak on this because I've experienced it, right? I've been doing this for a long time. Been doing this for 6 years. So one thing I can say is, and I've also had Instagram. I deleted Instagram because I didn't delete it, I still have it, but the Instagram I had back in high school, I no longer have, right? I deleted that a long time ago. And one of the things that I realized about, likes and comments and everything, it's not so much that we want validation from other people. I think that's a part of it. But when you get a like, when you get a new subscriber, when you get followers or comments or whatever, right? Your brain is happy because it's excited, right? Because it's like, hey, we're growing, right? And the whole reality is about growth, right? The whole existence of life is geared towards more, is geared towards abundance, right? So it's everyone's natural inclination, right, to want more people following them, to want more people interacting with them, to want more people paying them money, right? So don't be ashamed of yourself when you find yourself in this scenario where you're looking for growth, right? Because that's part of life. That's part of your advancement as a human being, right? When every human being wants to become influential. Every human being wants to be rich. Every human being wants to have more, wants to have a better life conditions, wants to have better life conditions, wants to have more time. Every human being wants to have better food, better just life conditions, right? So it's normal and natural to seek more followers, more likes, more people, because as a result of your brain knows, like, hey, if I have more people who follow me, right, that means more people, that there's more of a likelihood that people will give me money. And if there's a more of a likelihood that people will give me money, right, then that means, or it's one of two things, right? It's either more people will give me money, or there will be girls that notice me, right, and it increases my reproductive options, right, my mating options, right? So this is very biological, right? This isn't really a spiritual thing. I think it's more biological and survival based than it is spiritual. So it's hard, it's difficult to get over the need to constantly view these things, right? But I think something that can help you, or a couple of things that may help you, in my opinion, are obviously, just being on your phone less, right? It's hard because, like I said, these things are so addicting, but you're not going to be able to temper your want to look and see if you got new likes or subscribers if you're always on your phone. If you're always on your phone, it's right there, right? And I'm not a fan of deleting apps, right? I think a lot of people have deleted, I've deleted apps in the past, right? But it's like I've got to a point where I'll check my YouTube, right? And if I don't get subscribers for a set period of time, maybe if it's a day or 2 or 3 or even a week, I mean, I don't really care. And I'll tell you why I don't really care, right? I don't care because I want to feel like I'm above it. That's not the reason. I don't care because I know that I'm going to be successful, right? I know that I'm going to be successful anyway. I know my channel is going to grow eventually anyways, right? So I don't get caught up in little sprouts of no progress. I don't get caught up in times of scarcity or times of, nothing happening, right? So because I've experienced that. Guys, I was on YouTube for 6 years before I got even close to 1,000 subscribers. I had 400 subscribers, right? Some of those people were from high school, right? So bro, I've been down bad, right, when it comes to being like a YouTube content creator. So I don't trip about times where things aren't going well, because guess what? I experienced 6 years of things not going well. I've experienced years of getting 1 subscriber every 3 months, right? So am I gonna sit here and worry or get sad or get upset or disappointed if my channel doesn't do good for a few days or a week or 2 weeks? No, because I've been through worse, right? So this really comes down to your fortitude and your ability to stay poised, right? I'm doing this as a business, right? I'm doing this as a job, right? Like I treat this like a job, right? A lot of people who, let's say for example, like girls who use Instagram, right? Who enjoy, posting pictures all the time and posting shorts and reels and everything, right? That's different, right? Because, some of them make money, but some of them don't make money, right? And here's the thing, women, a little side rant, women, it's easier for them to get likes, right? They just got to look good. So as a guy, right, it's obviously more difficult because you got to provide some sort of value, right? Intellectual, you got to have some skills, right? Or some knowledge in some field that you can help someone with, right? So anyways, going full circle here, your ability to withstand seasons of drought when it comes to your social media growth, right, is a good thing. It's a good thing because you're always going to have times where you're not doing well, right? That's not to say that you'll be, dissatisfied all the times, but that's to say, hey man, my channel did good for a year, right? And then, hey, the next year it didn't do so well, right? It's just like with a business, right? With corporations in America. Some years, hey man, corporations don't do that well, right? But guess what? They stay open, right? They stay open for business. So you have to have the same mindset when it comes to social media growth, right? You can't get upset when you don't get likes, you don't get new subscribers, you don't get views, right? Because a lot of times you can't control that shit, right? You can't control the algorithm. Obviously you can control whether you post or not, but you can't control the algorithm, right? You can't control the outside forces that dictate whether or not your video gets exposed to the public at large, right? So all in all, I just want to provide some insight into, needing to always have dopamine hits, right? And like I said, I'm no better than the average person, right? I find myself checking multiple times a day, right? I'll check my channel multiple times a day to see if I got a like or anything. But I've done it so many times, I've checked so many times, and I've been disappointed so many times that when I check, right, I have a very indifferent attitude, right? That's not to say I don't feel slightly negative when things don't go well, but that's to say I don't get overly invested emotionally in a negative way to an outcome that isn't desirable, right? And in the same way, I don't get emotionally invested into an outcome that is desirable, because I know, hey, okay, great, channel did good this week, channel did good this month, okay, but guess what? It doesn't mean it's going to be like this forever, right? And that's not to say that you should have a negative attitude. That's just to say you should have a very even-keeled mindset towards life, right? And this doesn't just apply to social media. This applies to everything, right? Breakups, you know, disappointment in your jobs, right? Disappointment in the stock market, disappointment with, you know, whatever it is. So you need to, and this is really what being a man, I think, comes down to, right? A big component of being a man comes down to is being stoic, right? Because like I said, as a guy, you know, and here's the thing, when it comes to social media, you don't even want your channel, I don't even think you'd want your channel to blow up right away, right? Because a lot of people are like, yeah, man, my channel blew up right away, you know, I got 100,000 subscribers or whatever. But guess what? You know what your channel blowing up is equivalent to, right? Or your social media account blowing up right away is equivalent to? It's equivalent to hitting the lotto. The problem with people who blow up so fast on social media, or who you know, get a viral video, or they hit the lottery, the problem with those two things is that they never had to develop character, right? And the problem is when you don't have character, when you don't have skin in the game, when you haven't experienced ups and downs and trials and tribulations, right? When that time does inevitably happen where things don't go as well, you're not going to be able to handle it, because it's such a shock. You haven't experienced the contrast of the goodness, right? You've only experienced the good. So when inevitably your channel doesn't do as well, right, for whatever period of time, you're in complete shambles. You're so emotionally distraught, right? And it can create a really bad, you know, mental health situation where you're upset, you're depressed for weeks, or you know, you indulge in certain substances because you're so upset that, you know, you didn't do, your social media didn't do well, right? So all in all, I'm just trying to really prove a point that you need to, and it takes time. It's not something you just develop in a day or two or three. It comes through just time and experience. But eventually, you know, you get to a point after posting so many videos and, you know, checking your phone so many times that you just get used to things going one way or the other. You just get used to not being so overly invested in the outcome, whether it be positive or negative. You just get used to being like, all right, whatever. Like when my channel doesn't grow or whatever, I'm just like, all right, no problem. It'll pick up back up when it picks itself back up, right? I tell myself I have no control, right? And you know, people would say, oh, that's a powerlessness. That's coming from a place of helplessness, right? Not really, because if I was to sit here and say, oh yeah, man, like I want my channel to grow and then get all pissed off, right, when, you know, the channel doesn't attain the traction that I want, well, then I'm just gonna beat myself up, right? And beating yourself up is a good way to stress yourself out, right? And again, you know, I don't want social media to be something that stresses me out. I'm sorry, right? There's a lot of other problems in life that are stressful and that, you know, can be real stressors, but I don't want social media to be one of them, right? We have enough things we deal with on a day-to-day basis, right? So you got to learn to put social media, YouTube, Instagram, all these different apps in the right place, right? Obviously you want to use them. You don't want to just say, oh yeah, man, to hell with social media. No, it's a part of the new world that we live in, right? You can't just sit here and deny. I mean, you can I mean, but you know, for a lot of you guys who want to make money online, hey, you just got to accept this is just a part of life in the 21st century, right? So anyways, I'm done here. I hope you guys enjoyed that little rant. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe. If you guys have any questions, comments, feel free to leave them down below. And as always, I will talk to you guys soon. Peace.